Jay Short with the super chat says, if either of you played in the sixth grade league now as an adult, could you average 50 and 20 or score 100 in a game? Respect Will. I agree. I don't give a fuck who you're playing against. Not to
I do.
mention, he got
I do.
55 rebounds
Competition
on Bill
matters. I
Russell.
care. All y'all keep saying that competition matters. I care.
100 points?
Barry Bonds hit Randy Johnson and Greg Maddox and
Well, he's the
Tom Brady.
greatest ever, though. You know what I'm
I mean,
saying?
and he hit some of the greatest pitching ever too. That's part of why he's
But
the
see,
greatest.
I understand what you're saying, Coop, and you're consistent with that. But you got people out here who will sit here and gawk over Babe Ruth, who didn't even play against players of other races, and talk shit about Wilt when Wilt came 40 years after Babe Ruth. So if we're gonna talk about, that whole competition thing, we got to keep that consistent all around.
No, I feel you.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we shouldn't even be talking about Babe Ruth then, because Babe Ruth came like 40 years before Wilt.
I don't talk about Babe Ruth though. You know how I feel
No,
about
no, I'm
Babe
saying you're
Ruth.
consistent with yours. But I'm
Did
just
he
saying in
play with
general.
anybody that looks like us or that hablo español? Well, if the answer is no in English and in Espanol, then fuck your team.
But like I said, in general, we seem to pull that card out whenever we're talking about Wilt, but nobody ever says that about Babe Ruth. Ever.
I say it about Babe Ruth all
You
the time.
do, I'm
It's
not
like
talking about you.
he
You're
doesn't even
consistent.
count to me as a top 10 player because he didn't hit anybody black or brown. Period. He
But
don't count. Neither does Ty Cobb. And they both
Nas the
racist
Goat
too.
says,
Right. They
Mike,
both racist on top of it. You can keep all that. And them.
Nas the Goat says, Mike, Wilt had horrible finals games, though. You know what? I think you've been looking at Chris Bouchard's podcast. Let me pull that in context, right? I went and looked up those games that Chris Bouchard was talking about. And you know who was on his team? Elgin Baylor. And it was the logo. And the logo was getting all the shots.
Oh, you talking about, hold on, are we talking about like the Jerry West Elgin Baylor Lakers that he played on?
Yeah. And so what Wilt did in those
Wilt
horrible
was
games.
a passer by then.
Let me
Wilt was a
finish.
passer because he played with Elgin Baylor and Jerry West, who were both volume shooters. How about this? Jerry West.
Let me finish my point real quick. Those horrible
games
games you're talking about, where he scored like 5 or 8 points or something, he had like 22 rebounds. So it's clear what he was doing. And Jerry West had like 40 something in those games. So yeah, I don't think those are quote unquote horrible games. I think they just switched up the game plan. And it was clear it was about Jerry West being the volume shooter, like Coop was saying. My bad, Coop. Go ahead.
No. You're fine. You're perfectly fine. I don't think people understand that, like, Elgin Baylor and Jerry West at the shooting guard and the small forward position are probably the first volume shooters for their position. Both of these guys retired averaging over 25 points a game. And Elgin Baylor's case, retired averaging over 10 rebounds a game. And so these weren't like regular players. This was the first time Wilt played with players, like players. Like, right. I know he played. Is this before Hal Greer? This is after Hal Greer with Philadelphia, right? Right. So Hal Greer is great. He's an all-time great. He is not Jerry West or Elgin Baylor. Wilt is passing the ball because the story on Wilt is that you don't rebound and play defense and do the other things that Bill Russell does to make sure that his team wins.
Yeah.
So as soon as he had somebody comparable to a John Havlicek, a Sam Jones, a Bob Cousy, he did what Bill Russell did, which was rebound and pass the ball and do outlet passes.
And
first.
honestly,
I will give Wilt props for that forever.
If you look at those games and you look at the box scores, and see, that's why I don't like doing this, because you get sportscasters that'll pull some numbers out their ass or whatever, and we're in an analytical age, and nobody saw these games. But if you look at what Russell was putting up in this same series, it was damn near mirroring what Wilt was doing. They weren't scoring a lot, and they were rebounding a lot. Yeah. If you really look into, like, what was going on in those games. But again, if we didn't sit here and see those games, and you just see a finals appearance where Wilt had 6 points, you're like, oh man, he had a terrible game. No, he had Elgin Baylor and Jerry West on his team.
No, when he had some hitters, he did what Russell did. When
Yeah,
he got him some hitters, he did what Bill Russell did.
exactly.
I give him that.
Double
Yeah.
O 007 with the super chat says, "Don't say Babe Ruth without saying Josh Gibson. Josh Gibson is the greatest power hitter of all time." And y'all know how I feel about Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds the greatest player of all
Hey,
time.
I got some hip hop head stuff because I've been like keeping my head down, like trying to research this. If somebody can find out the first video that was on Rap City, that'd be great. Because you are right. Follow the Leader's the first video
Boom.
shown on Yo MTV Raps. Hold on. That's what I was talking about how you can be super lyrical, but you can be a star. You can be charismatic. You can just make a dope rap record. You can be the person who kicks off a whole rap show era on MTV. Think about how big that is. Follow the Leader. That's not no elementary ass rhyme going on to start off Yo MTV Raps. That's some rap shit if ever there was some rap shit.
Facts. Nas the GOAT says, "No excuses. He scored 4 points in 48 minutes." Shaking my head. LP says, "Wilt played with them two and only got one ring." Shaking my head.
He played 2 years with them and only got one ring. Elgin Baylor retired. If Elgin Baylor plays, they probably win more rings.
You're talking about another team that has like 4 or 5 Hall of Famers that have continuity and have been playing together for like 10, 11 years. That's tough to beat.
People forget that's the Laker team that went on the 33-game win streak too. The longest win streak ever. That's them.
That's true. And
that's
that series
right.
was
So
7.
let's no. I've come on here and talked a lot of stuff about Wilt, but when I've talked about Wilt, I've mostly been talking about the guy that was like a stat pattern. The guy that was in LA was like he scored only when called upon because he knew he had scores around him. He led the league in assists one year, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
He did. He led the league in assists.
They had the longest winning streak ever, if I'm not mistaken, and still that team win-wise is top 4 all time.
I think Golden State might have broken that record. I could be wrong.
No, but if I'm not saying in terms of all-time wins in a season, they're still third.
Yeah.
After Golden State and Chicago.
Yep.
Correct?
Yep.
The 69-win team, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they won 69 games. I don't give a fuck when you playing when you win 69 games, Mike.
Exactly.
It's hard. It's 82. You won 69?
And not to mention, man, the other stat when you talk about the motor of somebody like Wilt, he had seasons where he played every single minute of the game.
Somebody just super chatted that. We actually need to bring that up. Wilt was burnt in LA 48 minutes per game 7 seasons prior by JB was here. Super chat.
Well, let me get to the super chats real quick. Swain says, "All-time greats will be great in any era." That I agree with. Mad Max with the super chat says, "Wilt played in the era where the players had the same average height as today's players back then." I'm sorry. Had the same average height as today's players back then get violated. People got to look the rules. Let's see.
Players have gotten shorter again now. We don't have as many.
I was just about to say that. I feel like players now are shorter.
Yeah, because from 85 to like 2000, we wouldn't have said that. You feel me?
Right. Mad Max says, like you wasn't allowed to palm the basketball. If you tell Kyrie you can't palm a basketball, he looks like Oscar and them dribbling with one hand.
True.
JB was here, says Wilt was burnt out in LA. 48 minutes and 7 seasons prior. Yeah, I mean, it's a
Played
lot,
every
man.
for 7 straight
he had
seasons?
a lot of miles on him. Well-versed Sessions says Mickey Mantle was a better baseball player than Babe Ruth. Coming from a Yankee baseball fan, the Mantle Mays era, both better by a mile. Yeah, I know Willie Mays is better. Now, Mantle might have been better too because he was a great fielder. I think what they always throw in with Babe Ruth is his pitching career. Okay. But again, he was pitching during a time where,
how about this is what I'm saying. It's like, oh well, no, if you would have pitched against Josh Gibson, and it's like your stats against Josh Gibson would have given credence to something about you being the greatest pitcher of all time, I'd be with it. But what I probably think is that you probably faced Josh Gibson like 20 times, probably like 5 home runs.
Yeah,
6 doubles.
Yo,
2 singles. 2
and Babe Ruth
balls.
Babe Ruth. I mean, I know they had like baggy uniforms and stuff. Then he didn't look to be that in shape like that. Bob Gibson
cigars all the time.
Bob Gibson was ripped, man. Like, Bob Gibson was.
There are
And there
pictures.
was no steroids like that then. Bob Gibson was like, yeah, it is what it is.
It is what
This
it
is
is.
what I want to go to, though, man. I know we got a lot to cover today. Did you see what was going on with Pete Rock and Puff?
I didn't. When you brought that up, I was like, I read one thing and then I was like, I'm out.
Top of that with the super chat says, shout out to him from Australia and shout out to our people internationally as well. Says,
Yeah.
love A2HH. Y'all keep the same, I'm sorry, keep me sane at work. Did you catch the new Banks in Conway? We got to talk about that Friday. Is Wilt the greatest athlete to play the game? Those track and field numbers are crazy. I think so. And I'm very high on Michael Jordan and his athleticism and LeBron James and his athleticism. But what Wilt was doing as an athlete at a 7'2" stature, shit is, it's folklorish. I mean, they say he was out here benching weights with Andre the Giant and shit. Like, he was strong.
He was 7'2", Mike.
That doesn't make you strong.
They were the same.
That don't make you strong. It doesn't. He was like, dude was ripped.
You know how many people are walking around as tall as Andre the Giant to actually be able to lift weights with him, though? Wilt Chamberlain is one of those people.
I saw a clip, right? I saw a clip, and I say this respectfully because Shaq is the biggest we've ever seen. Shaq's 50 now. They showed a picture of Shaq at 50 and Wilt at 50. This nigga look like he's still in the league. And he's out here dunking regulation basketball, playing regulation.
Wilt is more of an athlete than Shaq, but not more of a physical dominating specimen. That's what I'm saying. Shaq physically was imposing in a way that Wilt wasn't. Wilt was just taller than everybody else.
And jumped higher. He wasn't taller. He appeared to be taller because he was strong. That was the thing.
Mike.
No,
he's 7'1". You don't have anybody over 6'9" until
that's not true.
Unseld comes around.
I don't like when people say that. That's not true.
Lou Alcindor at the end.
There were 7-footers in the league in that day.
Who?
I can't tell you off top, but there were 7-footers.
Dolph Shays might have been 7 feet. He's the only one around that time.
He was big, strong.
And Dolph Shays is older than Wilt and Russell, so not for long.
Well, I'll come back with my research and all that, but
I'll
give you a list. I'll give you a list of 7-footers that played during Wilt's era.
No, because Wilt is still playing when Kareem comes along, and he actually blocked Kareem's skyhook before, as an old man.
Shit is crazy.
So I'm not saying like Wilt's not capable. I'm saying is like, well, it's like he played as far as people his height, Kareem at the end. And that's when Kareem was like literally the best player in the league, not Wilt. And that was his only competition at his height.
I think the bigger you are, the more impressive the athleticism is. Because we see a lot of guys.
Because Shaq was bigger. That's what I'm saying. Like Shaq did things that you're never going to see a 350-pound.
That's what I'm saying. I think
350 pounds on his wife.
That's what I'm saying. I think Shaq's athleticism goes underrated because we kind of look at it as him just being big, but the fact that he was able to do all of that going up and down the court and still be like, I mean, that was Diesel for real too.
Like, how about this?
You got to be an incredible athlete.
You remember the Kobe pass in Game 7 against Portland where he catches the alley?
Yeah.
Okay, Wilt at that size couldn't do that. Okay? That's what I'm telling you. It's like, I don't care about all that.
I disagree with that 100%.
No, Mike, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. No, listen to what I'm trying to tell you. I'm telling you this as a lean guy. The weight doesn't weigh on you the same when you're lean. You can do more. Wilt was able to do some of the things because he was lean, not because he was powerful. Shaq was doing powerful and agile things at the same time that Wilt never did because Wilt was never powerful like that because he never had that much weight on him because he was really a slimmer and more agile man. Like body-wise, he's not that different from Bill Russell.
He was much stronger than Bill Russell, though.
He's just bigger. He's just taller, Mike. If you look at their frames, they both have long, lanky, agile frames. It's not like Wilt was some big, wide.
Wilt wasn't lanky. I don't know. Yeah,
he's just tall and wide for his time. He's not Shaq, dude.
He was lifting. He was lifting what Andre the Giant was lifting. Yeah. Oh, I want the people in the chat.
Nate Thurman is not 7 feet tall. He's 6'10".
Let me get to the super chat real quick. Mad Max says Wilt, Dion, Bo, MJ, greatest athletes in that order. I'm with that.
I'll take Bo and Jim Brown over Wilt as an athlete, actually.
Swain says, shout out to you guys. Best hip hop podcast out. We appreciate the love.
I'll take Deion as an athlete over him too, man.
You tripping. Mad Max says Nate Thurman is 7 feet. Coop.
Nate Thurman's
Wilt
not 7
played
feet.
against
Nate Thurman has not ever been classified as a 7-footer. I want to see this. Like, where that happened at?
Let's Google it. We got a Google show going on. I want people to tell me.
I'm Googling it right now.
Yeah.
In 1965.
Also, this is what I want y'all to Google in the chat too.
6 feet 11 inches, like I said.
Oh my God. Okay, all right. This is what I want people to Google in the chat too.
No,
Cool. You Google this. How much did Wilt Chamberlain bench press?
Hold on, no. Let's pull up just Wilt's whole height and stats right quick. Wilt was 7'1", first of all. So he's got a clear 2 inches on Nate Thurman, okay? Clear 2 inches.
Okay.
He's 6'11". Hold on, let's go to his weight. 275 pounds. He's got 2 inches and 50 pounds on Nate Thurman. That's what I'm talking about.
No, but see, you sitting here talking about Wilt slender. He was 275, man. Wilt's big, bro.
Hold on, that's what I'm trying to say. So Shaq at the same height was 350.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not. No. I'm not saying no. I'm not saying
it.
Listen,
no. You're looking at the
look up Bill Russell. Then look up. You said you compared him to Bill Russell. I never compared him to Shaq. Weight
Bill Russell 6'9", 215. I know that without pulling it up.
Exactly. So yeah, they're not the same.
6'9", 215.
They're not the same. They're not the same. You can acknowledge that, right? JB was here, says
I'm
LeBron
sorry.
is
they
like...
got Bill Russell listed at 6'10", which I don't think is accurate. I think he's 6'9".
JB was here, says...
Yeah, they got him at 6'10", 215.
Okay, that's 60 pounds. They're not the same.
That's what I'm saying. So when you're talking about how Wilt looks at 275 pounds at 7'1", understand that's how Shaq looked coming out of college. So Wilt played.
I'm not talking about Shaq. We know Shaq's the biggest force ever. You said Wilt and Russell.
Let's talk about the agility of it.
Yeah.
You remember the things that Shaq could do when he was coming out of college?
No, I agree.
Okay, so
Shaq
Wilt's
was
not like some sort of freak of nature that's never been seen. Because Shaq at that size was more of a beast. And
well,
Shaq
no.
Could do things that Wilt couldn't do.
We're not going to do that. Cool,
and he played real 7-footers. He played Arvydas Sabonis. Arvydas Sabonis was just 7'2", 285. Rick Smits was 7'4". He played Akeem Olajuwon. David Robinson 7'2".
No, I feel
Tim Duncan 7 feet.
I agree with that. But
Shaq played real
Shaq's not out there.
You understand what I'm saying?
Cool. Shaq's not out there.
People talk about him like being this specimen. It's like, well, Shaq played against other 7-foot specimens.
They're very different. They're very different. You're not going to just sit here and say, because, Shaq is his own individual specimen. Yes. They're not going to act like Wilt wasn't special. Shaq's not out there doing high jumps.
Part of why Wilt is so special
Shaq's
is just in relationship.
You're not even letting me
talk.
talk. Shaq's not even not out there doing Olympic gold medalist jumps, man. He's not. Wilt's a one-on-one. Stuff that Shaq was doing was incredible for his size, and I don't want to make it sound like I'm downing the incredible athlete Shaq was. I think he was very impressive. I think he's more of an impressive athlete than Iverson, Kobe, whoever, because of his size. But Wilt, there's nothing like that. We never seen anything like that. JB was here, says LeBron is like a different perimeter Wilt. What's different? Mad Max says, Coop, Wilt bench like 350 to 500 pounds. You got to stop with the Wilt's not human, bro. Yeah, man, Wilt's from another place, man. I know we got
all that stuff that you're talking, had he had to guard somebody like Shaq, you wouldn't be saying any of that because he never had to deal with any of that. He never dealt with any of that. Do you understand that until Kareem showed up, there was not even anybody height-wise comparable to him walking around? Forget the size. There wasn't even anybody height-wise walking around comparable until Kareem showed up at the end.
That would have been a great matchup to see. Mad Max says...
Kareem was leading the league in scoring while Wilt was still there. He was the better player at that point. He was more skilled.
I mean, he had a lot of miles on him at that point. Mad Max
he's always been more skilled than Wilt. Don't do that to Kareem.
No, I'm just saying as far as like him being, the
better
leading
free throw
scorer.
Shooter, better shooter.
Yeah. Mad Max says Wilt's too fast for Shaq. Shaq don't want to see Wilt. If Wilt played against Shaq, he'd have Shaq huffing and puffing. I agree with
Like I
that.
said, people don't. Hold on, you want to know? I want to pull up Shaq's vertical coming out of LSU. I think
You
y'all are
don't want to
forgetting
do
that
that.
Shaq was. No, I think people forget that Shaq was a freak of nature coming out.
You don't want
I
to pull
think
up
y'all
Shaq's
forget
vertical.
because Shaq didn't score 100 points in a game because like Shaq actually played against people his height consistently. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, that doesn't mean that he has a better vertical or bench more. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even Shaq, as much as I love Shaq, he wasn't really a great rebounder. He wasn't really
I
a
will
great
give you
shot
that. If
blocker
he
either.
suffered, hold on. If there's anything I'm disappointed about his career, it's the rebounder that he was because that's the guy that should have averaged 13, 14 rebounds a game for his career.
He wasn't a great rim protector. I mean, if we want to nitpick, you know what I'm saying?
No, I'll
Um,
give you that. No, I'll
but
give you that. I think he's underrated as a rim protector. I think his size kept a lot of people from even
I
doing
think
it.
it did. I think his size kept a lot of people from attempting. Jay Short with the super
Hold
chat
on.
says
Listen
in
to
the
this research.
'90s. Hold on, let me get the super chat real quick. He said in the '90s, when centers were centers, Shaq won.
Hold on.
Question mark.
Guess who has the recorded maximum vertical reach ever measured in pre-draft workouts? You think it's Shaq or you think it's Wilt?
I think
They're the
it's
same
Wilt.
height though, Mike. I thought Wilt was the freak of nature. Why is it Shaq at 12 feet 5 inches when they're both 7'1"?
Hold on, what's this again?
Maximum vertical reach in terms of how far you can
Uh,
extend yourself while you jump.
well, what's the vertical? Let's stop with the games. What's
No,
the
no, no, no,
actual
no, no, no,
vertical?
no. They say
Because a
extend,
lot
but
of
reach
that
is in.
has to
Hold
do
on, hold on,
with
hold on,
with
Mike.
your
The vertical doesn't
wingspan.
matter in live time. You know that, right?
Oh my
The
God.
vertical doesn't matter in live time.
So you're including something that has something to do with wingspan, possibly. I want to see how much they come off the
I'm gonna
ground.
tell you. Hold on. I'm gonna tell you why wingspan matters more than vertical. The
Oh
1991
my
NBA
goodness.
Finals. Scottie Pippen is 6'7". Michael Jordan is 6'6". Michael Jordan guarded Magic Johnson in Game 1. Does everybody remember Magic Johnson's Game 1 triple double on Michael Jordan, where the Lakers won Game 1? And then Phil Jackson put Scottie Pippen, who's only an inch taller than Michael, but his wingspan, Mike. So tell me wingspan don't matter again? Because I'm pretty
When
certain
we're
that that's the
talking about
reason.
athleticism, no. Because at the end of the
No,
day,
Mike is a better athlete than Scottie, but that's why wingspan matters because Mike's athleticism didn't mean shit against Magic Johnson in Game 1. Scottie's wingspan was everything against Magic Johnson games 2 through 5.
we're
And you
cha-
know it.
you're changing the subject. Let me look up
I'm
what we
not.
need
No,
to
no, no.
look
We're
up.
talking about vertical reach and wingspan. That's what your vertical reach is. That's how far you jump with your wingspan.
Let's
Wilt and
see.
Shaq are comparable. Why is Shaq's higher than Wilt if Wilt is the freak of nature?
I don't even see a vertical jump for
It's a
Shaq.
pre-draft workout. This is Shaq's pre-draft workout. That's what I'm saying. You're forgetting that Shaq was a
Well,
freak of nature just like
Wilt
Wilt.
had a 48-inch vertical, man. Mad Max with the super chat says, same Shaq that got cooked by Hakeem. That's the
Yes,
same height and the size as Bill
yes.
Russell.
And Bill Russell offensively is never Hakeem. Wilt never played anybody like Hakeem. And you know it, Mike. Don't you sit up there and say that.
No, he didn't.
He
Man
never
with the
played
super
anybody
chat
close to
says
Hakeem.
Shaq
Hakeem would
was.
have undressed Wilt too. He
Let's
would
get
have
to these
undressed
super
Wilt
chats
just
so
like
we
that
can move
fundamentally
on.
too.
Let's get these super chats so we can move on. Man Dad says Shaq was a top 50 by the third season. Let that sink in. Vincent Hughes says Shaq ran the break off the rebound. Stop. Arguably the best feet in the post. Shaq was incredible, and that's why I don't like this conversation because it sounds like down in one to prop up the other. I'm not saying that, and I just think Wilt is otherworldly, and so is Shaq. And what Shaq did in size, no, we've never seen. But what Wilt is as an overall athlete for his size, we haven't seen either.